Welcome back to the channel, or hello if it's the first time. Today we are doing another batch rejects. Let's get right into it. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, batch rejects are just a bunch of different movies from different genres that I've put together, and I want to save you time and you don't have to worry about wasting your time watching these films because they're not really any good. So here we go. Alright, so starting off is sci-fi. Today we're talking about the movie Supernova. This is early 2000s, and you can kind of tell from a lot of the costuming, a lot of the hair, some of the music. Just overall, this was a rehash of other great sci-fi that have come before.
Until they answered a distress signal.
SOS critical.
This felt like it just kept trying to kind of do the same thing, but kind of put a new spin on it, but also lazily doing the exact same formula but not really even trying very hard at it. So, sorry, Supernova. Okay, so now we're talking about action, and coming in with action movies that are no good is The Expendables number 3. Okay, yeah, so it's an action movie. It's all about a bunch of old movie stars who were action heroes kind of like replaying the same role, but as like a team. And should we have high expectations for this film? Well, the first one and the second one were actually pretty decent. The second one, I would say, kind of like it reached its peak about halfway through and then just kind of plummeted. That's kind of my assessment of the second one. The third one, however, y'all, this just like went on and on and on, and it was almost like, let's get the band back together and as many more as we can. Like, let's just get more action heroes and just punch them in, but also fill up the cast with new, interesting characters. But actually, they were just kind of new characters, were not that interesting. They were kind of annoying. The end was just like this long, overwhelming battle, and it was like, I bring this to the table, and I brought this to the table, and this is the only thing I can do, so here's my special scene for it. Moving on. Next is mystery. Guys, this is a genre that I love. I've seen so many mystery movies. I used to watch all the old Poirot and Sherlock Holmes movies, and just like, I love a good detective story. So today we're talking about Death on the Nile. I know, you guys are gonna say it. Matt, you just gotta give it a chance. I know there's been so many remakes of this, and they really tried hard. They did their best. Yeah. So basically, all you have to do is watch the trailer, and I watched it anyway, and was just, this movie fell flat in a lot of places, overly sexualized. The period piece was like, ooh, let's look at the period piece. Oh, it's so shiny. So let's focus on all of that, and we'll kind of like kick the story. Like, we'll get back to the story later. There was so much just things that were not important or necessary to the story that they just kind of kept shoving in your face, and just overall it wasn't enjoyable. It wasn't that great of a story. Like I said, there have been so many retellings of this Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie, and this just did not live up to par. And finishing out this list is Flawless. We are talking about period pieces. Here we go. Overall, this movie has the makings of a great heist film period piece, especially when you got Michael Caine, who does a fantastic job. He did his best to try and save the film, but alas, it's on this list. So what is Flawless's real imperfection? See what I did there? I hate when people do that. Flawless is a very, 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 very long, slow burn, and it is pretty amazing how the heist is pulled off. And like most heist movies, once you figure out how they do it, it can really still be interesting and want to watch it over and over again, especially like with your friends seeing it for the first time. This movie's biggest crime is you don't really know motivation and why, and the main character, like, why is she doing this? And in the end, why does she give it all away? And why?
You're involved now.
Overall, it's not that bad of a movie. It's not bad at all. It was okay. It was enjoyable at times. It was a long, slow burn, and the peak was pretty cool. But would I watch again? Probably not. It was okay. It was okay. So there you have it. There's some rejects. Don't waste your time on these. Leave a comment below if there's tons that we missed, but I'm always just trying to build a list of like great ones and not so great that can fall into this list. Matt out.